Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Elder Scrolls Online video with me, Sherman. Today guys, we're taking a look at the Soul Reaver and its healer role. I know what a lot of people are going to say, but it's mostly a stamina based build, and it is. But it can still play a healer. It's not going to be a super effective healer like some of the other builds I released, but it can play a healer effectively, but mostly just for like normal content and some veteran content. I won't say all of it. You would have to be a really skilled player to play this at veteran level healer, and you'd have to understand this build inside and out to really play it as a healer. So let's go ahead and get started talking about this. But before I do, of course, the disclaimer, as always, this is just a suggestion. You do not have to play this build this way. If you want to play it purely as a stamina character, you can. And I've already shown you how you can do that with the tank and the damage dealer. This is the healer if you want to play it this way. Right, moving on. The character is the Soul Reaver character. We are a Nord Necromancer. As you can see, we have 64k into Magicka with a 28k Magicka, 22k health, 22k stamina, and a 987 mag recovery. This is where the problem lies with this build, is we don't have a high Magicka recovery or a high spell damage. So you really got to watch it with this, and you have to throw a lot of heavy attacks with the rest of the staff in order to make this build work really viably. Alright, moving on. We are using the Atronach Mundus Stone to give us higher magic recovery. We are using Tri-Stat Food. I did try this with Dubious Cameron Throne, and you can do that, or not Dubious Cameron Throne, Witchmother's Potent Brew. You can do that, but you do drop to 26,000 Magicka and 21k health, 17k stamina, but you go up to a 1365 magic recovery, and when you're buffed up with the potion, you actually go to 1593 magic recovery, which makes it a lot easier to sustain, and your spell damage isn't too bad on either bar with this. But I will warn you that that lower max Magicka does make your heals hit for less. This is why I prefer to use the Tri-Stat Food when I'm playing this role. You can use the Dual Stat Blue Food. It will give you about a little bit more Magicka and a little bit more health if you want, but it's going to give you about the same in recovery. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the gear. Everyone should know the gear pretty well. Starting with the monster set, we are using Veladriths. Veladriths is mainly primarily a stamina DPS set, but as you can see, this one does add weapon damage, and then when you deal damage, you have a 20% chance to spawn 3 disease spores in front of you after 1 second that deal 11,971 disease damage to the enemies they hit. This effect can occur once every 9 seconds. Moving on to the next set, we are using Gladiators. This is going to improve your damage done with light and heavy attacks with the enemies below 25% health, but as you can see, it does add a lot of weapon critical on the 2-piece and 3-piece, and the 4-piece is added weapon damage. The 5-piece, when your target is under 25% health, add 1800 weapon damage to your light and heavy attacks. The next set we're using is Briarhearts. Briarhearts is also a stamina-based set. As you can see, it does weapon critical, max stamina, weapon critical, and when you deal critical damage, you have a 10% chance to increase your weapon damage by 449 for 10 seconds. This effect can occur, while this effect is active, your critical strikes heal you for 682 health. This effect can occur once every 15 seconds. Now, you will be getting this weapon damage because it's whenever you deal critical damage, and you're still going to deal critical damage even with this on the way it's set up. Now, we are using 2 different types of weapons here. We are using a stamina-based weapon, the Briarheart Maul, with a Crusher enchant on an infused weapon, and we are using a powered Resto Staff with a weakening enchant on it. The reason for this setup is this way we can take advantage of that Crusher enchant for our group and apply it to multiple targets if we so choose, or to apply it to targets if we so choose to help with DPS. So going over the gear traits and Mundus Stone, or gear traits, and enchants, we have on the head, we have Sturdy. This is going to allow us to block more effectively. We do have Reinforced on the chest piece to make the heavy armor the highest resistance value it can be, and then we have Sturdy on the leggings as well. On the smaller pieces, we do have 4 Divines. This is what is going to allow us to take advantage of that Mundus Stone and give us that higher recovery rate. Now, the other thing about this stuff is the fact that we do have tri-stats on the big pieces. This is going to allow us to be more hybrid, so we can play a tank, a healer, and damage dealer. We're not going to be as effective as a healer as we are a tank and damage dealer. Alright, moving on to the jewelry, onto the other stuff. The smaller pieces are divines with max stamina enchants, as I said. And then moving on to the jewelry, we are running 2 Trirune with weapon damage enchants. This is mainly so we can stay in we can take advantage of the max health, magic, and stamina for the rolls. And then the weapon damage is primarily there to beef up our damage capabilities. We also have an infused shield play enchant or an infused necklace with a shield play enchant. This reduces our bash and block costs. Makes us really good at interrupt as an interrupter, as a healer. So moving on to the weapons, I've already told you, Crusher infused and a powered weakening. Alright, moving on to the skills. And I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. I'm going to explain the skills and take the skills that are going to reflect your character the best for your play style. In this case, this is primarily a stamina character. You can see I have all the stamina morphs mostly unlocked, and then magica morphs for when I play the different roles of tank and healer. Weapon skills, we are using a two-handed weapon, so unlock the passives and the ultimates. And the skills themselves, because when you play either DPS or you're playing healer, you can take advantage of some of these skills, like Carve. If you wanted to, as a healer, you could take advantage of this to apply that stuff. You could even use Executioner Strike to help with DPS when the enemy gets lower in health. Not as effectively, but it still works, and everything else. And then, of course, Restoration Staff. You're going to want to unlock all the abilities and ultimate and all the passives to take advantage of that. Moving on to the armor. Light armor passives are going to be the things that are going to help you out the most here, and that's Grace is going to help you out a little bit, but so Grace reduces the effectiveness of snares applied to you by 4% for each piece of light armor worn. 4% we get. Reduces the sprint cost by 3% for each piece of light armor worn, 3%. And then Evocation is the main one. Increase your mag recovery by 4% for each piece of light armor worn, and then reduced the cost of your magic abilities by 2%. That 2% isn't much, but you do notice a difference when you play this character. You can tell that there's a slight decrease in their max magic, or in their magica cost. Spell warding increases your spell resistance by 363 for each piece of light armor equipped. And then medium armor, we are using all the advantages of. So increase your weapon critical rating by 328 for each piece of medium armor equipped, 1643. Windwalker, increase your stamina recovery by 4% for each piece of medium armor equipped. 20% reduces the stamina cost of your abilities by 2% per piece of medium armor equipped, 10%. And then we have improved sneak, which reduces your sneak cost by 7% for each piece of medium armor equipped, 35%, and reduces the size of your detection area while sneaking by 5% for each piece of medium armor equipped, 25. Really more focused for like playing a scout or a ganker in PvP, or playing a thief or a Dark Brotherhood content in the base game. Agility, win 5 or more pieces of medium armor equipped, increases your weapon damage by 15%, and then Athletics increases your movement speed bonus of sprint by 3% for each piece of medium armor. As you can see, we have 15%, and then reduce your dodge roll cost by 4% for each piece of medium armor, 20%. Moving on to heavy armor, we do use 3 of the passives here. Resolve, increase your physical and spell resist by 362 for each piece of heavy armor equipped. Constitution, increase your health recovery by 4% for each piece of heavy armor equipped, and also you restore 108 magic stamina when you take damage for each piece of heavy armor equipped. We do have this effect can occur every 4 seconds, and as you can see, we do get 108 magic and stamina back when we take damage. And then 2% from Juggernaut, increase your max health by 2% for each piece of heavy armor equipped. Moving on to Soul Magic, you can use these abilities and stuff if you so choose. Shatter Soul is pretty good. When your health drops below 20%, your soul explodes, dealing 2,808 magic damage to enemies within 8 meters of you. This effect can occur once every 2 minutes. Summon Souls, Soul Summons allows you to revive once every hour without spending a Soul Gem. Soul Lock, killing an enemy with a weapon ability has a 10% chance to automatically filling an enemy Soul Gem. And then over here, we have Fighters Guild. Of course, this is mainly for when you're playing stamina DPS. You want to make sure you have some of this, and even some tanking or group support. Mages Guild, same thing. Lots of different things in here. Unlock them for their uses. Psijic Order, you can do the same thing. And then on Undaunted, unlock the Undaunted passives that are going to best reflect your ability to play the character. Moving on to Assault skills, same thing. Unlock the skills that are going to best reflect your character playing different roles. Support, same thing. And then on to racials. Nord is our race for this. We get Revealer, increase your experience gain with two-handed weapon skill line by 15% and increase the duration of any consumed drink by 15 minutes. Resist fire, increase your max health by 1000 and your cold resist by 2310. Also gain immunity to shield status effect. Stalwart, increase your max stamina by 1500, and when you take damage you gain 5 ultimate. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. It's really nice in this playstyle to get that ultimate gen because it allows you to use more like war horns and it allows you to revive people faster with your resurrect spell. Rugged, increase your physical and spell resistance by 3,960. This just gives you a greater survivability with this. And then moving on to crafting. Alchemy, medicinal use, very important. When using a potion, resulting effects last 30% longer. And then provisioning, Gourmand and Connoisseur. Both of these will allow your food and drink to last for 20 minutes longer. Alright, let's go over the skills we have on the bar. And I'm going to go ahead and change one of the skills to Carve. So I have an AoE type damage thing that I can use for when I show you this in a dungeon so you guys can see its effectiveness. Starting with the first skill, Carve, of course. Focus your strength into a mighty swing, dealing 4,571 physical damage to enemies in front of you, and causing them to blade for 8,805 physical damage over 10 seconds. Next ability we have is Energy Orb. Now this one, you project a globe of regeneration that slowly floats forward, healing for 7,026 health every 0.5 seconds to you and your nearby allies. An ally near the globe can activate the Healing Combustion synergy, causing the orb to explode to heal for 6,121 health to all friendly targets, and restore 3,960 magic or stamina to an ally, whichever maximum is higher. Next ability we have is Empowering Grasp. Skeletal summon skeletal claws from the ground, snaring your enemies for 50% for 5 seconds, and inflicting minor maim for 5 seconds, reducing their damage done by 15%. Hitting you and your allies grants them Empower for 5 seconds, increasing the damage of their light attacks by 40%. Hitting your skeletal mage or spirit mender enhances them by 5 seconds, increasing their effectiveness by 40%. I would suggest using this with your skeletal mender if you have it unlocked. Next, we have Overflowing Altar. Conjure a fountain of blood to apply minor lifesteal to enemies in the area, healing you and your allies for 672 health every 1 second. When damaging them, allies in the area can activate the Blood Feast synergy, healing for 72% of their max health. Then we have Inner Light. We have this here because not for the top effect. The top effect is summon a mote of Mage Light, revealing stealth or invisible enemies around you for 6 seconds. Exposing enemies cannot return to stealth or invisibility for 3 seconds. It's mainly here for while slotted, your max magic is increased by 5%, and you gain Major Prophecy, increasing your spell critical by 2191. That's why we have it here. And then moving on, we have Renewing Animation. Bring your allies back from the brink of death, resurrecting up to 3 allies at the target location. You restore 5,300 magicka and stamina for each ally you resurrect. And then moving on to the back bar, this is our Resto Staff bar. We have Healing Springs. This is really good for you. Summon a Restoring Spirit with your staff, healing you and your allies in the target area for 1673 health and 1673 health every 1 second. For 3 seconds, you restore 338 magicka for each friendly target hit by the initial heal, up to a maximum of 3 targets. Next, you have Combat Prayer. This one, slam your staff into the ground, activating Blessings healing you and your allies in front of you for 4,316 health. Also grants Minor Berserk and Minor Resolve and Minor Ward, increasing your allies' damage by 8% and your physical and spell resistance by 1320 for 8 seconds. Moving on, we have Spirit Guardian. Conjure a ghostly spirit to do your bidding and stay by your side for 16 seconds. The spirit heals you and the lowest health ally around you every 2 seconds, restoring 1,654 health. This, while active, 10% of the damage you take is transferred to your spirit instead. Creates a corpse on death. Then we have blood sacrifice. Sacrifice your own power to repair damaged flesh, healing you or an ally in front of you for 8,082 or 8,282 health, but applying minor defile to yourself for 4 seconds, reducing your healing received by 15%. Consumes a corpse near you on cast to cast a heal on a second target, or to heal a second target. Then we have Inner Light. Summon a mote of Mage Light, of course, but mainly it's here for the Max Magicka and the Major Prophecy. And then the last one we have is Aggressive Warhorn. We have this here to boost our group's Max Magicka and Stamina by 10% for 30 seconds. And then you and your allies gain Major Force, increasing your critical and spell damage by 15% for 9 seconds. And that is the skills, and of course I'm going to show you guys what this thing looks like in action in a dungeon so you guys can see for yourself. And of course we are going to pick the newest dungeon, Depths of Malatar, that came out with Wrathstone, because it is one of the more difficult dungeons in the game right now, as being, I wouldn't say the most difficult, but it does definitely present some challenges to veteran players and new players alike. And we are going in under veteran mode just so you guys can see the effectiveness of the heals when you're in a group, like harder group content. So I probably won't kill anything. I'll probably just have to let my character die because I don't do enough damage. But you guys will see. Let me get my potion ready. So I'm going to go ahead and buff with my potion when I open the door so I can get started. And you can see, like I said, with this you have to do a lot of heavy attacks in order to make it really effective, and I was not doing that from the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and use Warhorn just to show you the effects from it. As you guys can see, I go to 30k Magicka, 22k health, 24k stamina. But yeah, as you guys can see, it works out pretty well. It's not a bad healer. It's just not a super god healer. So, and I'm going to go ahead and let these guys kill me so I can close out the video for you guys. But that's pretty much it. As you guys can see, this thing is an effective healer. You just have to know how to play it really effectively in order for it to work good. Some people it's going to be more difficult. For other people it's going to be super easy. For me, it wasn't too hard for me to figure out how to play this build. Because I play healer in the game on live, so. And of course these guys are gonna kill me again. Run away! I'm gonna die. Nope. Just kidding. They must be bugs. Am I still in combat? Yes, I am. Woohoo! Alrighty, though. That is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys have been enjoying the content lately of how I've been doing these different like universal characters to where they can play all 3 roles, and just showing you like what you can do with your character. I've been enjoying it. I've been having a blast, and I can't wait for next week to get here, because you guys are going to be really psyched to see what I got coming, because it's not going to be Necromancer stuff. Next week is all other class stuff. I'm going to be releasing 1 class a day, a different build, so you guys can see for yourselves. Also this weekend I'm going to be doing a couple videos explaining a few more things in detail and doing a Q&A. So keep your guys' eyes out for that. But other than that, you guys know what's coming next. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more videos by me, you can subscribe. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a wonderful day. And this guy might see you in game. Bye.